Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is a thought for the day that comes from Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth. Wonderful book. Get it and read it about 15 times. So today I'm reading from chapter 9, Your Inner Purpose. Starts on page 257. And he says, as soon as you rise above mere survival, the question of meaning and purpose becomes of paramount importance in your life. Many people feel caught up in the routines of daily living that seem to deprive their life of significance. Some believe life is passing them by or has passed them by already. Others feel severely restricted by the demands of their job and supporting a family or by their financial or living situation. Some are consumed by acute stress, others by acute boredom. Some are lost in frantic doing, others lost in stagnation. Many people long for freedom and expansion that prosperity promises. Others already enjoy the relative freedom that comes with prosperity and discover that even that is not enough to endow their lives with meaning. There is no substitute for finding true purpose. But the true purpose or primary purpose of your life cannot be found on the outer level. It does not concern what you do, it's what you are. That is to say, your state of consciousness. So the most important thing to realize is this: your life has an inner purpose and an outer purpose. Inner purpose concerns being and is primary. Outer purpose concerns doing and is secondary. So while this book speaks mainly of your inner purpose, this chapter and the next will also address the question of how to align outer purpose and inner purpose in your life. Inner and outer, however, are so intertwined that it's almost impossible to speak of one without referring to the other. Your inner purpose is to awaken. It's the same for everyone, same purpose, awaken. It's as simple as that. You share that purpose with every other person on the planet because it is the purpose of humanity. Your inner purpose is an essential part of the purpose of the whole, the universe, and its emerging intelligence. But your outer purpose can change over time. It varies greatly from person to person. Finding and living in alignment with the inner purpose is the foundation for fulfilling your outer purpose. It is the basis for true success. Without that alignment, you can still achieve certain things through effort, struggle, determination, and sheer hard work or cunning. But there's no joy in such an endeavor, and it invariably ends in some form of suffering. Awakening is a shift in consciousness in which thinking and awareness separate. For most people, it's not an event, but a process they undergo. Even those rare beings who experience a sudden, dramatic, and seemingly irreversible awakening will still go through a process in which the new state of consciousness gradually flows into and transforms everything they do, and so becomes integrated into their lives. True. Instead of being lost in your thinking, when you're awake, you recognize yourself as the awareness behind it. Thinking then ceases to be a self-serving, autonomous activity that takes possession of you and runs your life. Awareness takes over from thinking. Instead of being in charge of your life, thinking becomes the servant of awareness. Awareness is conscious connection with universal intelligence. Another word for it is presence. consciousness without thought. The initiation of the awakening process is an act of grace. You cannot make it happen, nor can you prepare yourself for it or accumulate credits toward it. There isn't a tidy sequence of logical steps that leads toward it, although the mind would love that. You don't have to become worthy first. It may come to the sinner before it comes to the saint, but not necessarily. That's why Jesus associated with all kinds of people, not just the respectable ones. There's nothing you can do about awakening. Whatever you do will be the ego trying to add awakening or enlightenment to itself as its most prized possession, thereby making itself more important and bigger. Instead of awakening, you can add the concept of awakening to your mind, or the mental image of what an awakened or enlightened person is like, and then try to live up to that image. But living up to an image that you have of yourself or that other people have of you is inauthentic living. Another unconscious role the ego plays. So, if there's nothing you can do about awakening, if it has either already happened or not yet happened, how can it be the primary purpose of your life? Does not purpose imply that you can do something about it? Only the first awakening, that first glimpse of consciousness without thought, happens by grace, without any doing on your part. If you find this incomprehensible or meaningless, then it has not yet happened to you. If something within you responds to it, however, if you somehow recognize the truth in it, it means the process of awakening has begun. Once it has done so, it cannot be reversed, although it can be delayed by the ego. For some people, the reading of this book will initiate the awakening process. For others, the function of this book is to help them recognize that they have already begun to awaken and to intensify and accelerate that process. Another function is to help people recognize the ego within them whenever it tries to regain control and obscure the rising awareness. So for some, the awakening happens as they suddenly become aware of the kinds of thoughts they habitually think, especially persistent negative thoughts that they may have been identified with all of their lives. Suddenly there is an awareness that is aware of thought but is not part of it. What is the relationship between awareness and thinking? Awareness is the space in which thoughts exist when that space has become conscious of itself. Shall I read that again? What is the relationship between awareness and thinking? Awareness is the space in which thoughts exist when that space has become conscious of itself. Once you've had a glimpse of awareness or presence, you know it firsthand. It's no longer just a concept in your mind. You can then make a conscious choice to be present rather than to indulge in useless thinking. You can invite presence into your life. That is to say, make space. With the grace of awakening comes responsibility. You can either try to go on as if nothing has happened, or you can see its significance and recognize the arising of awareness as the most important thing that can happen to you. Opening yourself to the emerging consciousness and bringing light into this world then becomes the primary purpose of your life. So as you go through your day today, try to be present without thinking, just aware, just observe, just listen. Try not to respond. Just let yourself be in whatever it is that is being seen, being heard, being felt, without thinking about it, without reacting to it, causing drama, etc. Just be present and make a great day.